today's date, when you see, actually the date you see this will be on Sunday, March 12th at 6 a.m. Here is another episode or podcast of Trauma, Part 2. Here is another thing Elizabeth Corey said on Facebook. Being Trauma with Elizabeth Corey. As we start the new year, we can benefit so much from loving self in this moment. This time of year, we constantly hear about changing who we are with willpower if we consider self-love. For the aspects of self that are acceptable by the masses, we love our productive parts, our happy and vibrant parts, and our successful parts. But the most healing benefit comes from loving the sad, futile, rule-breaking parts we have learned to hate. Change comes when we accept what we don't like. It shifts when it is heard and loved. Give the microphone or pen to those parts that have been cut off or rejected by others and yourself. This is from Nate. Children can't name abuse in homes where it's the norm. Stop the BS messaging about why didn't you tell someone when all they've ever known is they don't have the right to ask for help, and if they do, they'll pay for the price. An opinion from me. From me and my sister. We were told if we ever told anyone, we'd get a beating, and it happened to me more than once. And I don't know about my sister. Okay, getting back to Nate. It's normal to have anger towards an abuser whose life appears to have gone on without interruption. While you pay a price, their lives are never what they seem. Release yourself from carrying any part of their inauthenticity, including their lack of ownership over what they did. You have to stop trying to make yourself make sense to the people who have harmed you in senseless ways. Another thing I'm going to add to that is you don't have to appease family. If they are toxic, throw them out of your lives. They're not always the best thing. I don't care if they're your brother or sister. I don't care who they are. Sometimes you got to make choices you don't want to make. With family, they may be family, that's about it. But if they are not supporting you in any way, uplifting you and stuff, they're just dragging you down, judging you, lecturing you about your life and how stupid you've been or whatever. And every choice you make in your life, you've chose the life you lived. You are choosing what's best for you. And even if at that time it may not be the best, but you know what? We have to make our mistakes. We got to learn how to fall on our butts because it's the only way we move forward. And with things I've experienced from family, I've learned that they don't care what you think. My family always thinks that they know what's best for me, and they don't. I've learned that from my sister. They tried it, and my mom, my stepdad. But my stepdad and my brother, Gary, learned that, and others have learned that. And it's not that easy. So did my mom. She learned to back off, because I told everybody off before. I'm choosing what I want to do with my life. I don't care what they think. It doesn't matter. If you know what you want to do with your life and you think that the only thing you can do is what you're doing there, so be it. But don't be afraid when it comes to trauma. Don't be afraid of EMDR therapy. Look up EMDR and you'll find this international page. It's an amazing page. It's an international community. You can look up your zip code and they'll give you can choose the radius, like 50 to whatever mile radius. And they'll find EMDR therapists for you. They'll show you which ones are in the area. And get them a ring. I don't care if you have to send a waiting list. Do so, because it's going to help you. It helped me. This is month 5 for me with EMDR therapy. I'm only seeing my therapist once a month. I see her next Wednesday. But what it does, it helps bring together the parts of you that have been just shut off. And because you've had to shut that part of you off, that there's a process and things you didn't know how to, because you were too young to understand how to handle things, or at the time, it doesn't matter what age you are, you don't understand it. Your brain's not going to help process it because it doesn't know what to process, because it doesn't know how to handle it. And I'm not speaking the stuff that I'm reading here. The reason why I'm using these people is because I don't know what anything. I don't have any degree in that. I have not been to school regarding trauma. I'm taking from professionals that know what they're doing. This including a survivor that knows, because he's doing what he knows, and it's really helpful. And it's made total sense to Nate, and then you can follow him on Facebook. And if you look up Being Trauma Does the Course, she's an amazing woman. She goes live every Tuesday when she's able, and you're free to ask questions when she's live, and it's amazing. She'll answer them right on the air. She reads the comments as she's live, and I would recommend you follow her. And she comes on usually every Tuesday at 11:05 usually, although after 11 usually it's not that late usually. Sometimes she's late, but still, if you're able to, that's great. But she has great material, and the CPTSD Foundation also has a lot of stuff. You follow them on Facebook, you haven't already. That foundation has a lot of good stuff, materials, charts to give you. They have a lot of stuff. So I hope this, gives comfort to anyone that needed a comforting thing to hear regarding trauma. That and by the way, it's not everything you endured was not your fault. When you're a child, you don't know what you're doing. You're just reacting to the stress. If you live in a stressful environment like we did, where the base of the household was World War III all the time, you don't know really what to do. Your brain is thinking one thing, and there's the other part of your brain as a kid thinking, okay, I gotta do this. But don't try to gain anyone's attention just because they're family. You can love them from afar. You don't have to be in a relationship with them. Because if you're just going to be part of family's life, your family life, I'm going to say if there are family there that you can get angry with me all you want, but there are people there that actually do not care for you. And for some families, that's not the truth. Some families, they do care for each other. There are families out there, there's loved ones and friends that claim to have you back and they don't. And just be careful with family. When sharing trauma, make sure anything you're going through, make sure that they are trustworthy. Not that it comes to bite you in the tush, because it will bite you in the butt. And I mean that. I learned the hard way. Now it's time for me to record part 3.